and really excited to talk to this guy. It's been a long time coming, Mick, but it's
Hey, Don.
here at last. So how you feeling about it now that it's finally done, and how's the fan reaction been?
Well, my wife and I just have been, hanging out and, doing what family does, hanging out.
How's for the album now? Because there's 3 singles out now.
Yeah.
The video for Undone just came out, and so for you, what's the feedback been from the fan base?
The first 2 were pretty overwhelming for me, for just me, being Mick Mars.
Yeah.
The third one was just released, maybe an hour or so, hour and a half ago. And so I'm still getting stuff in, but everything has been really positive and really, really strong. People going like, it's such a strong song, and it's powerful and stuff. So I'm going, good. That's what I want to hear.
Man.
Yeah.
Was there any part of you that was worried? Because, for people, and they've been seeing video clips throughout the show, but for the hardcore Motley Crue fans, was a party that was a little nervous that you were making such a modern rock album?
Which party? My fan base, or?
Yeah, the Motley fans.
I think that the Motley fans were are pretty anticipating, I guess, what the album would be like. And remember when I was, on the show with you and Eddie, I said it's not going to be, like Motley Crue music. It's going to be something different. So I think that anticipation is like, I think it's pretty much for the majority, people are going like, wow, this is wow, and so I'm really happy with the record, and I'm really happy with all the people's responses, and the fan bases, and that is it's crazy good.
Yeah, I being a Motley fan for many, many decades, and being friends with so many people that are, you could feel the anticipation from all the hardcore fans. And after hearing the full album now, you're going to make a lot of new ones, because it really is aptly titled The Other Side of Mars, because there's so much variety on this album, Mick. I mean, you got real doomy riffs. You have stuff that's more commercial. You have a piano ballad, an instrumental, which came out of nowhere. So was that the thought process going in? Let's give them every side of Mick Mars, or was it just when you started collaborating, that's what came out?
I've had some of those songs I've had for quite a while, since back, in 2014, 2015, and that and other things, but taking it to the next level has just happened, after pretty much, well, it's been going on a long time, but I can tell you the instrumental that you heard on there was, I had written that lick way back, like 25 years ago.
Wow.
And it stuck around, and it wasn't clearly wasn't a Motley type song, so I saved it for myself. And of course, it's really kind of it's kind of like hints around on my well, how do you say it? The old LA noir, black and white, flatfoot detective sleuth movies, with that 6'4" kind of a deal going on, and that kind of stuff. But a lot of the things that I have been around for a while, but it finally came together. Yeah. And happy I'm not getting any younger, you know.
Well, none of us are, and that's why I think everybody's so grateful that this has finally happened. Because Mick, you had some false starts on this. Was
yeah.
there anything from earlier sessions that made it to this album, or when? Because we should talk about also the people that work with you on this album. When Jacob and Ray and those guys came in, did you start from scratch again?
Um, but I would have to kind of go like yes and no, because the initial licks were there, but the arrangements and that kind of stuff needed to be like, you know, with a real singer and with a size of, you know, what I think, you know, and that kind of stuff. So there was arrangements to go on, parts that needed to be rewritten, you know. Well, I think that you're pretty familiar with you know how it works. You know, when you write a song, it's like you go back and you go like, oh, this could be better. Oh, I have a better idea. Let's, you know, an arrangement, and just like going anywhere I wanted or anybody else. You know, I was like, how do you feel about this part? Like to Paul, and then go like, it's interesting. Let's try, you know, and that kind of thing. So it was really a full blown creative kind of sessions that we had. You
Yeah.
know?
Let's talk about you know, some of the people who appear on this album, and just give us a little taste of what everybody brought to the table. You know, Jacob has done an interview for this hour, and we'll see that a little later in the show. But also you had Ray Luzier, and so talk about some of the cats that you got down with on this.
Uh, so, I didn't understand the last part.
I wanted you to give a little shout out to the musicians who played on this album,
Oh,
and let people
okay.
know who they are and what they brought to the table.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, Jacob, he always comes through no matter what.
Amazing guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Um, and what can I say? A lot of that stuff um, that Jacob sang was like in just a couple takes, like one take or two takes, and you know, overdubs. He's incredibly good, that guy. And so I go, welcome aboard. I was, you know, smiling when I'm hearing like this stuff coming together. You know, Paul, of course, you know, added like the keys and all that stuff. You know, I was like parts that a lot of times I'll hear parts in my head that I have to apply to a guitar because I can't play piano. And Paul would take things to another level, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And when, well, let's say like with Memories, I wrote that song on my guitar. I had all the parts, drums, everything else, all the stuff. And so I gave it to Paul. He took it home, transposed it to keyboards, and I go, that's all. Don't want to hear any other instruments, just the keyboards. And then Jacob, of course, sang his ass off, and added the violin violas, which was my solo that I had in the guitar version.
Wow.
So he transfers it to, you know, the violin viola stuff. So that came together as that, because I was actually envisioning that as like name a band with a singer that just comes out and plays the piano and sings, you know, nothing else.
Right.
So that's kind of what I had on mind there. With the newer song that I released on Done and on Killing Breed as well, I had another person, Brian Gamboa, sing the songs for the angst that he has, the desperation, because those songs are like desperate, you know, and needing that kind of a thing. Jacob could sing them, but it was just I wanted a different element, a different feel of that desperate kind of a help me kind of vibe. And Brian delivered that, and I go, that's it. And yeah, so I just play around with a lot of stuff and a lot of, different people. And Paul mostly brought a lot of those guys, to me.
Sure.
And I got through Paul through Michael Wagner. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a full circle.
Who I think so this I think is his final record right before retirement, or did you drag
Yes.
him out of retirement for this?
No, I was his final record.
Yeah.
As let me say, I'd done some stuff with Michael in the early days. So when he first came from Germany, so first and last, yes, exactly, and that's cool too. So yeah, it was. I had a really great time doing this record with all the people, and it's amazing.
Yeah, well, if you're saying, well, I'm thinking if it's not his last album, if it is, it's a great way to go out. But if it's not, sometimes people come back from retirement, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they do. I don't know anybody really, but
I can't think of anybody either. But I'm sure there are. We really sat and talked about it.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Let me ask you about what about the critics? Are you ever a guy that paid attention to the critics, or are you more of just hey, if the fans like it, that's all that matters, or if that you like it most important?
In my opinion,
yeah,
I look at credits and see who did what for what and did this and this. Simply because I'm not like that guy, that just goes like, no, I did everything. No, we all did. All of us, Brian, Jacob, all of us did what we do.
Well, what I was sorry, Mick, what I was asking maybe was about the critics.
The critics or the critics?
You ever pay attention to critics in your career?
Nah, I don't care. It's like what I said a long time ago. Like I'll lose some and I'll gain some, and the critics can be what they are. Jealous fucking assholes that just don't get it, and they're frustrated musicians or whatever the hell they are. The critics are the critics. They'll always be critics, and they won't say anything nice about anyone.
and right? Everyone's a critic now, right? With social media, so it's everybody's a reviewer, everybody's a critic.
Yeah, well, I guess that's how it goes, and especially nowadays, there's I don't know, it's okay with me. I think that everybody. This is stupid, okay? That I'm going to say it anyway. Everyone has their own opinion. Is my correct? Yes. And that's the way it works. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, some earn, some will go away, some come back, some, some are critical. They'll never like me,
Yeah.
So
what about with Motley? You think Motley will, I believe they will, but you think Motley will be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday?
I haven't even thought about it really. If they do, cool. And if not, then like I said, it's cool too.
Yeah.
Either or.
It's one of those things. It's if you get inducted, it's a great thing. But if you don't, hey, your career speaks for itself for sure. Yes. You were nice enough to sign my Shout Out to Devil album into that metal show, yes. And you put a little clue up there to your guitar tone. And so, is that still your motto these days? Doing now your solo album, 10 full treble.
I might write a song like that, I don't know. But I always said 10 full treble, like for the longest, even when I was in. It's almost like Mick Mars 10 full treble. I don't know. It's like how I can tell you how that came about.
Yeah.
It's like a long, long time ago in the 70s, early 80s, before Motley. Uh, hey, what's your tone setting? I go 10 full treble. There's no other way to play 10 full treble. So I just stuck with it, you know.
Right.
So, you know, it's one of those. But I do just about that, but a little less of each.
Gotcha. Hey, so now that you are the face of Mick Mars, because you are Mick Mars, you have to go out and do the press now.
Mhm.
Is this a hassle for you? Because you know you were in a band with three other guys who loved doing press before. This
I
is
know.
sort of a new thing to you, huh?
Yeah, doing as much press as I'm doing. Yeah, um, you know, the other guys would like kind of like hone in on it, and like you know, they fight with this. I don't really know, but it was like, yeah, um, I get uh, a lot of requests, you know, a lot, and it's like going like but yeah, so I'm doing them all now myself, and it's cool. Sometimes I don't know what to say, you know, but I do my best.
Well, again, the word of mouth, the fan reaction that I've heard has all been positive. And even though we don't care about them, the critics have been very kind. So we're going to keep spreading the word on this. Do you think? Do you think the time you were in Motley, where you weren't really doing a lot of press? I mean, I love that you did our show, but do you think that sort of added to your mystique as one of the members of Motley Crue? You sort of had that the dark wizard kind of thing because people really never got to know you that well.
Yes, and you know, I didn't mind that because there's always got to be one of those, you know, the dark guy, the I don't know, the one that isn't going like, no, me, no, I'll do it, no, me, I'll do it, you know, and it's cool. I like, you know, that dark, you know, I still do. I'm that guy, you know. Um, but you know, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I like it. There we go.
It was sort of you sort of accidentally though kind of came into that role again because you didn't do a lot of press and you know when I met you for the first time I didn't know what to expect and you know you were you know so gracious and again you were nice enough to sign my record and all that stuff and it was really fun to get to know you on that show uh,
Yeah.
and find out about who you are and now with this new music coming out yeah, it's a necessary evil, but we got to spread the word, as you said. And
Mhm.
February 23rd will be the date, and you could take a deep breath then, I guess.
20. Yes, that's right. 23rd. Um, yeah, you know, stepping back just a little bit when you said you didn't know what to expect, a lot of people tell me that they're scared to death to talk to me. They're afraid of me, and I'm going, why? You know, because that thing. But yeah, yeah, it's funny that you said that, but it's cool. And yes, the 23rd of February will be the deciding factor, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, the other side of Mars. It's funny the way the business works now, Mick. Right? They you know you put out 3 or 4 singles before the record comes out, uh,
Yeah.
so it almost feels like you've almost heard the whole thing. But I guess that's the business model now. I don't know. I'm old school. I like the way they used to do it, but what do I know?
Guilty. I do the same. You know, go out and buy the record, you know, and there's nothing better than to go like, what's playing on the radio? Nah, I'll listen to my record. Or I'll, you know, that I don't know. I've been, you know, uh, by the album.
Well, the thing is also, and I'll leave you with this, Mick. Being an old school guy, you know, and you can attest to this as well. the sequence of the songs on any given album is so important. So sometimes when you kind of just pick and choose and put stuff out there, it doesn't paint the whole picture. Particularly with this album, Nick, because as I said, it is so versatile, and there are so many different flavors and tastes in this that I can't wait for people to hear the whole thing and see how all the pieces fit together, because from top to bottom, it's an incredible piece of work, Mick. And just as a fan and somebody who's talked to you before, I'm so happy for you and grateful for this music from you.
Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate that. But yes, I kind of like purposely diversity. When you say that, is exactly what I wanted to get across. Is like there's more to me than what more to me. I'll just leave it at that. There's more inside of me, and there's more to come out. And yeah, the diverse. Well, I just wanted people to kind of like listen to it. Maybe headphones cranked up or something, but to go like on this little journey through different kinds of music through this, because they're all different. I don't know, to take you on this like little mood kinds of things.
Yeah, there's definitely a uniform sound to the album, but each song takes you on a little journey. It's out February 23rd, The Other Side of Mars. Pick it up, get it on vinyl like me if you want to be the cool kid. Mick, thank you so much for some time today, and best to you and your wife, and best to everything and to you in 2024, my friend.
Okay, thank you so much, Don, for having me. I appreciate it.
Nick.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Don. Thank you for watching that clip. Here's some more I think you're going to enjoy. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.